Welcome to Simply Stogies, Tales from the Lounge. Every month, James and Tim bring you this Patreon-exclusive show. Listen as they visit different lounges, talk about what they're smoking, give you casual cigar reviews, and talk about almost anything with special guests. Thank you, patrons, for your continued support of Simply Stogies.
Welcome to Tales from the Lounge. As Tim flips me off, fucking garage edition. I don't even know, fucking Christmas edition. I am bundled up. Not really. I'm cold as balls here in my garage. Tim is in his garage. We are live via Zoom. Tim, welcome to the program.
It's so good to be here. We haven't done one of these for a while.
We haven't. So this was what we were trying to do during the pandemic, and we decided it just didn't work out last Christmas, last winter. So we were like, fuck it.
Right.
But I think this will be the only one of these.
Hopefully,
like it's just scheduling and Christmas and everything. So we do apologize, guys, for any technical difficulties that we have, which, by the way, we have had many so far.
we just started.
Like 20 minutes of just trying to figure this shit out. I am smoking the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Stillwell #1.
Nice.
Not really. This is for those of you not in the know. This is pipe tobacco. Steve's talking.
Why did you choose it?
Just to know that I hate it.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I chose the Aladino Cameroon. I think there it is right there. I think I have like 2 of these that you gave me. I don't know if I've had one. I don't think I have. So I figured I'd give it a try.
No, it's very good. I like the Aladino Cameroon. This is sweet and fruity and aromatic and pipey. It is. It smelled like oatmeal cookies. Like that's what I got from the cold draw. That's what I got from and it's literally like fucking smoking potpourri. Floral, fruity.
Man.
There's not really, I mean, if you like pipe tobacco, you probably dig this. That retrohale though, fuck me. Like it's all over the place. So we had a lot. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I was at work this last week, and one of my old officers, he just got back from a deployment, and he's gotten into cigars recently, and he's like, oh man, I brought some cigars. He goes, I wish I would have known you were going to be here. I bought some Cubans from overseas. I'm like, but are they real? He's like, oh yeah, got them from a legit place. I'm like, all right, perfect. He was like, but here, I want to give you something out of my stash in my office. And he's got like 4 or 5 cigars that aren't acid cigars. And I'm like, sir, you got to keep these separated. Otherwise, everything is going to smell like potpourri. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. And I'm like, all right, you're learning.
Did he get the Cubans from did it have like a glass top?
I didn't get to have that conversation with him, and I really didn't want to.
Sir, I'm sorry, sir. You were bamboozled, sir.
Yeah. I we'll find out one day. I'm sure he's going to bring me some. I honestly don't care about Cubans.
You're a fucking knob, sir. Stop buying fucking shit cigars, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, to each their own. Smoke what you like. We've said that a million times.
That's why I couldn't be in the military. That's just honest. I would be like, you're a fucking moron, sir. Respectfully. I'm sorry. I'll just go do push-ups now until, I die, I guess. Fucking idiot. So yeah, that would be me. We do have a lot to cover today. I don't know how long we'll keep you. Probably not the whole cigar. Maybe the whole cigar. I don't know. But so there's a lot. So guys, you again, first and foremost, thank you so much for all of your support. Without your support, we wouldn't be doing this. Like we just wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have just even the minimum that we have from you guys, which is enough to cover our PCA and just a tiny bit of our travel. It covers basically the PCA, the Zoom account. It covers the web, or not the web hosting, but the podcast hosting. And then there's like $100 left over. So, there's not even enough to do the web hosting. Like, that's paid for out of Tim's pocket. So there's a lot of stuff that you guys don't hear about, but it's the reason I'm bringing all this up is because I try not to shill for money a lot, but we're really going to have to this time. So your December payment, if you are month to month, part of the LE Club, the limited edition club here at Simply Stogies, if you're month to month, your December payment did not get processed through PayPal. Why? Because Buy Me a Coffee no longer plays nice with PayPal, or PayPal no longer plays nice with Buy Me a Coffee. So we scrambled to get the new login ready and up. So if you go to simplystogies.com and you click the login button at the top, you've got to change your password. You should have received an email from Tim saying, hey, this is how you guys log in now. So you'll need to log in. You'll need to change your password. But then you'll see there's stuff behind the paywall. There's a couple of reviews. And the only way you're watching this is if you opened your email, because that's how we're going to have to blast things out now. So anything new, that kind of stuff, it's all going to come to your email. So I really need you guys to open your email. Now, if you were yearly, all you have to do is log in and your account is good through whatever your end date was. So if you became a Cutter Club member in March, you'll be an LE Club member through March of 2022, right? So there's an end date for each one. And I think Tim emailed that to you guys, or it'll show in your account when you log in and change your password.
Yep. So basically what we did is we took the email addresses from Buy Me a Coffee and we just moved them over into simplystogies.com. So your login is your email address that you received an email from, hopefully me. I'm pretty sure I sent to everybody, but check your spam folder. That happens a lot. When you log on to the website, it's actually just says LE Club in the top right, or if you're on your mobile, you have to click the little mobile menu. And then your last option that pops up will be LE Club. You're going to use your email address to log in, but the first time you log in, there's going to be a link for forgot password. You're going to have to click on that, punch in your email address, and the website will send you an email walking you through resetting your password so that you can then log on to the website. And as James said, everybody, whether you were a monthly or a yearly supporter, if you were a yearly supporter, like James said, you're going to be out till March, June, whenever that is. And then all of a sudden you won't have access to the content. You'll still be able to log in, but you won't have access. If you're a monthly, you're good until, I want to say, close to the end of January, I think. I'm not so sure, but eventually you just won't be able to see anything, but you'll still be able to log in. You'll have to go back up to the menu bar where it says LE Club or My Account, and then you're going to have to upgrade or change your plan. And that's when you're going to be able to switch from what we call the legacy plan to a newly paid supporter. And I know we talked, James, we're going to put together a quick little, hey, this is the steps you need to do in order to update your information. Because we were not able to, and we wouldn't want to obtain your personal credit card information and bring it over and try to set it up. We're not like that. So we basically took your email address, set you up on a legacy account. Now it's up to you to go out to the website, log in, and resubscribe and resupport.
Right. So basically, if you are month to month, your December is free. You did not get charged for December. If you don't go and sign up, you're not going to get charged for January. And then after January, you will no longer be a subscriber. You will no longer be a supporter. You will no longer be able to log in and see all of the great things behind the paywall. So again, I hate shilling for money. I really do, guys, but you guys have all supported us for the last year. And I'm so grateful for that. And so if you want to continue to see this kind of content, you like what we're doing, you like what the podcast is all about, you like what the website is all about, you've got to support us. Go to simplystogies.com, click the login button, check your email, follow the instructions. get set up. Now, we're not keeping any of your credit card information or anything like that. This is all done through PayPal. We have a PayPal business account now. And so that's allowing us to do this e-commerce type of thing from our website. And so it's all basically through PayPal. So if you should feel comfortable with supporting us still, even though we're not using Patreon or we're not using Buy Me a Coffee. And if you have any questions, problems, issues, reach out to myself, reach out to Tim, let us know what's going on.
And we do have a SSL certificate for simplystogies.com. So it is a secure connection. So you don't have to worry about anything getting lost in translation between our website, PayPal, and back to our website. It's all secure. It's all set up. We need to make it look a little bit pretty, but that will come with time. Did you want to talk about the different tiers? Because we added tiers.
We did add tiers. Sure, we could talk about the different tiers. So there's 3 tiers. So there's basically what you're paying for the legacy plan, which is $10 a month, $100 a year. And that gets you access to the premium content behind the website, right? Behind the curtain. Is that what it gets you? I don't even know, Tim. That's right. I don't know. Does it get you this? Does it get
tier
you
one does get you.
Go ahead. Because I have no idea. I'm just going to keep interrupting you because you keep starting.
Oh, technology. It's such a beautiful thing. Tier 1, it does get you, all tiers get you access to everything behind our paywall. And tier 1 also allows you to get, I think all tiers actually allow you to join our LE Club Instagram page. I think that's what tier 1 does. Oh, and Discord.
Which the Instagram will be live January 1st. So look for that, guys. If you are on Instagram, send us an email, info@simplystogies.com with your email address that you've used to sign up for the LE Club or for the Cutter Club, whichever one. And then what your Instagram name is, and I'll get you on there.
I'm just pulling up the register page where it has actually our tiers. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, because I don't remember.
Yeah, well, and we've changed it, and I think we're still changing it a little bit. But tier 2 will actually allow you to get everything in tier 1 plus this episode.
So this, if you're only tier 1, if you're only spending $10 a month, $100 a year, well, and when your legacy plan is up, right? So if you want access to this monthly episode and a monthly, I think, is there a HERF along with that on tier 2?
Yes, there is a HERF, a monthly HERF on tier 2.
Yeah. So if you want access to that and talk with us, smoke a cigar virtually, probably from a lounge, that's going to be $20 a month, $200 a year. And that's tier 2, and that'll give you access. So this will be the last episode some of you might see, unless you want to bump up to that episode, because honestly, we need the infusion of cash to keep this going. We really do. We tried to do the Instagram live, the very scary Christmas, to kind of promote the LE Club and what we were trying to do. And we gave away a box of Franks, gave away a mystery box from Habano. What was that?
We gave away a ton of stuff.
Yeah, $250 gift card to one of our members. We gave away a box of Monster Mash as well. This was October and then December. And we literally got nothing out of it. So like we really do need the infusion of cash. We're looking for sponsorships from literally anyone except a cigar manufacturer. So cigar lounges, if you know a cigar lounge, we really need. And I appreciate all the support that we get from the cigar lounges that we go to, but we really need cash support at this point to keep this going. Otherwise, this will probably be the last year Simply Stogies is around. That's the way it is.
I agree, and I want to add to that is that when we started, we talked about this the other day. When we started, we didn't have a whole lot going on. It was pretty much just the podcast, and then we kind of created the website just to kind of be a landing page so that when people Googled Simply Stogies, it would take them to the podcast. And it has blossomed into so much more. And it's helped, I believe, helped us gain traction and become something bigger than what I think we thought this was going to be. And what we've realized is that as we grow and as we get bigger, it takes so much more time, so much resource. Just in equipment alone, James, both of us have paid out of our own pocket
quite a bit
for quite a bit of equipment. So I know my wife is starting to get a little upset with it. And so hopefully we get enough support that maybe you could throw a buck or two my way so that I can sleep without having to worry about my life.
Right. Exactly. And that's really what we need to do.
Yep. And then there is tier 3, and I signed up for tier 3, even though I don't, not eligible for any of the prizes or anything that we do. But I also understand what it takes and I want to support. And so, plus I get to do a lot of cool things. It's worth it.
So tier 3, what tier 3 gets you? It gets you everything in tier 1, everything in tier 2, but it also allows you to join me via Zoom every time I do a podcast. So you would come in, you'll be muted. You can ask a question in chat, or once the podcast interview is done, you'll be able to basically have an opportunity to ask a question of our guests. Just type it in chat. We'll take care of it. So even if I'm doing an interview live somewhere where I record with my various other accoutrements and on my laptop will still be on. You'll still be able to hear what's going on, and hopefully be able to see us. We're going to try to set all of that up as well, so it's easy. So look forward to that. That's the tier 3, $30 a month, $300 a year. And look, we don't need large amounts of cash to make this happen, but we do need an infusion of some cash because we're out. We re-up with the PCA. That was $400. We're going to have to re-up the Zoom. That's going to be $110, $120. I'll have to re-up the podcasting host. That's going to be another $100, $120. Plus, we're buying coffee, literally, enough to do cigars and coffee once a week. We're buying cigars to do cigars and coffee once a week. I mean, all of this stuff comes out of our pockets, and then once we get to July and we're going to Vegas, that's the big expense. That's $2,000 for a hotel room, probably, similar for a Airbnb. Then there's gas, there's airfare, all that kinds of stuff. Right. So we really do need some help. If we don't see it, I don't know how much longer this will go on.
Yeah. And I think our intent, if everything goes according to plan, is to have a much larger footprint at the PCA trade show than what we did last year. Last year was brand new for us. We learned a lot. We took a lot away from it. And I think we have some really great ideas and concepts moving forward into our second year of PCA to be able to cover a lot more things and produce a lot of content, and be more consistent with it as well. So obviously bigger footprint is going to probably pocket a little bit more.
Right. So if you know someone who would like to become a sponsor of Simply Stogies podcast or simplystogies.com or Simply Stogies presents cigars and coffee, let us know. We're open to all kinds of sponsorships. This is a fan-funded passion project right now, but I think we're going to have to expand, and it's just going to become a small little business if we want to keep it going. So it'll be partly funded by our fans and partly funded by sponsorships. And I don't want it to be, obstructive. I don't want you to log on to the website and have to be inundated with a ton of ads. What I'd like to see is something like, OxfordCigarCompany.com presents cigars and coffee with Simply Stogies. That, right? And then they pay for it. Something like David's Fine Tobacco presents, whatever. I am open to doing commercials for whoever on the podcast as well, where I'll read the script right there before we get going, or sometime in the first half of the episode, like whatever. Like this segment is brought to you by Pete's Dildos, the best dildos on the market. Whatever. I honestly don't care at this point. I would take Pete's Dildos money. That's the kind of money I'm all for. Pete Dildo's money.
If you can pull that off, brother, I support it.
Sex Toys R Us. I don't give a shit. I really don't. So if you guys know someone who owns a business who might be like, look, the podcast does very well. And again, I don't like to brag. And I rarely talk about it. But this year, Simply Stokey's podcast was top 8,000 consistently out of 2 million podcasts, over 2 million podcasts total. So it does very, very well.
That's amazing if you think about it. Out of 2 million.
Yeah. Especially for a niche, thing like cigars. So the website does fairly good traffic. Last time we looked, which was probably a couple months ago, it was 100,000 for the year. So, we do. I mean, that's not, we're not talking millions and millions of viewers, listeners, or even we're talking probably tens of thousands of people. So I want to stop with the shilling portion of the show, but I also want to underline how important it is that if you have a current account, or if you were supporting us monthly, that you go and you re-sign up, because your payments were not processed for December.
Got a free month.
Yeah.
Almost 2 months free.
And if you don't sign up for January, it won't be processed for January. And then come February or sometime in late January, you'll no longer have access to the premium content. And we're trying our best to get the premium content out. We are still looking for staff writers. If you know someone who'd like to write a review or write about the cigar industry or the pipe industry or pipe reviews, like I don't care anymore. Pete's Dildo reviews, send us an email, info@simplystogies.com. And you can write a Pete's Dildo review.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait.
I think Tim is going to write the first one. It's going to be titled "My First Pegging." Oh,
after many years in the military, this larger than life butt plug didn't faze me one bit.
Not one bit. Eventually this year we're looking to move away from YouTube, do this. I'd like to be able to do Facebook Lives, YouTube Lives. I'm also toying around with the idea of doing a Sunday fireside chat on Instagram, where I smoke a cigar and just bullshit with whoever wants to come on. So lots of things we'd like to do. But again, we need your support, not just monetarily. We need you guys to join the Instagram lives. We'd like to see you guys leave comments on podcast episodes, on reviews, get involved on the Discord. And let's start to bring this community together, because there are, like I said, there's probably tens of thousands of fans and very, very few subscribers. So let's make that happen
and get them involved.
I don't want to have to do an OnlyFans where I'm showing my feet.
I mean, if you're willing to do a dildo show, I think you're willing to do an OnlyFans where you show your ass toes.
I might. I'd have to get like those that glaze that you put on a glazed donut and just pour it over my feet, or shoot it with a syringe or some shit. I don't want to do that, guys. It's gross. It's gross. All right, let's talk about not gross things anymore. Okay, let's talk about top 25 lists. Now, look, last year I put out article that slammed Cigar aficionado pretty hard because they don't do boutique, and most of the cigars that are on their fucking list is from previous years. It's not released in 2020. This year's going to be no different. It'll be shit released from whenever. Plus they'll have Cubans on there, which is just fucking dumb. And so I'm probably gonna re-release that at some point this week. So look for a new article. Plus, I went through some of these top 25 lists that people are starting to put out, and it made me sad. For example, there is someone in the industry who put the McAuliffe A, like on the list. Now, first, the only A that was released this year is the Gordo. That was the new one. They came out with the new Vitola, which fine. You want to put a new Vitola on there? I'm all for it. I don't care. What I do care about is the McAuliffe A is all short filler. It's kind of like this, except not nearly as fruity and potpourri. I don't think any short filler should ever be on a top 25 list. Do you, Tim?
I agree. No, I don't. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't think a short filler should be on the top 25. I'm not saying that it might not deserve some form of recognition, but for a top 25 list or even a top 10 list or top any list, unless you're going to say, hey, let's look at the top 10 short filler cigars of the year. Same with the cigar you're smoking. Let's look at flavored cigars or whatever, then fine. But when you're talking about the top whatever of premium handmade cigars, no, I don't think short filler or flavored cigars should be on that list. Now, I do have a little bit of an issue with, and this is fine, but you're saying that in order for it to be on the top 20 or 25, whatever list of the year, it has to be produced in that year.
It has to be released.
In my mind, released. In my mind, what happens if, let's say 50 cigars are released in that year, but something from last year still tops 75% of what was released this year?
Okay, but it's a top 25 list for 2021 or 2020 or 2019 or 20 whatever.
Right.
Okay, so it's
the title.
Right.
You're looking at the title of the article and saying this is 2021. This is the top cigars released in 2021. I'm just saying, hey, in 2021, out of all the options that are available to me, these are my top 25.
Mm-hmm.
So
I understand what you're saying, but for me, the problem is this: blenders jump through so many hoops, and they make sure that what they released in 2020 tastes like what they released it in 2019. It tastes like what they released it in 2018. It tastes like you see what I'm saying? They go to great lengths to make sure that fucking Padron tastes like the same Padron you had last year. Period.
Okay.
So why are we not acknowledging that? Because if that's the case, if that's what they do, right? That's what they do. Then why is it better this year than it was last year? Why was it, it doesn't make sense to me. And if you're going to say, well, it might not be right. But if they say,
it might not be better than what.
No, but right. But that's just it. Well, with aging, okay. Aging is different than anything else because nobody has the exact same conditions from humidor to humidor to humidor. Nobody does. And things like what you set this cigar next to the other cigar, it's going to mingle with the flavors. Now the cellophane kind of helps stop a little bit of that, but I mean, that's essentially what happens. Absolutely. So everyone's humidor is different. Everyone's setup is different. Everyone ages differently. Some age at 65, some age at 62, some age at 70. So, it's not an exact science. And I get that top 25 lists overall are subjective because cigars in and of themselves are subjective. But it just doesn't make any sense to me to do a top 25 and not just have things that were released that year, because otherwise, if you're talking about aging, it's different And if you're talking about something that was released a year or two ago or 6 years ago or whatever, and it's just this year's iteration of it, it should, for all intents and purposes, taste exactly the same as the iteration last year, the year before. So what fucking changed? Why is it a fucking 5 this year? And it just doesn't fucking make sense to me. And then as far as Cigar Aficionado goes, they're not doing boutique. You have to be in X amount of shops across the country. You have to be, it's just fucking dumb.
Well, I saw an article earlier today, and I don't remember what site it was on, and that was irrelevant. But what they base their top 10 or their top 15 off of is the annual sales. How much sales? So if you have a cigar that sold $100 million and the next closest was $99 million, well, the $100 million is going to be cigar number one of the year. They do it based off sales alone.
Okay, but that's a different list. That's top 25 in sales. That's top 25 in sales.
Sales, they call it our top 10 list or whatever.
And that is in my opinion, I don't have a problem with that because that's a different type of list. I have a problem with their marketing because it's just different. It's based on a different criteria. It's not the best, it's the top selling. So they should say, here are the top selling.
And they do, but it's in very small print at the bottom. So unless you're actually paying attention and looking at that, then you're just going to assume that it was a panel of people that smoked a bunch of cigars and unanimously said, this is our top pick.
Right. The other thing with Cigar Aficionado is it's pay to play.
Well, now they came back after you released your article saying that we're 100% pay to play. Very shortly, I think it was the next issue, they actually did a short thing, article or whatever that said, no, we're not pay to play. So, I mean, maybe that's coincidence, but I'm kind of hoping that somebody saw you being dirty.
It's not coincidence. So our former content director knew somebody in one of the editors at Cigar Aficionado and forwarded him my thing. So somebody at Cigar Aficionado read that, and which is fine. But here's the thing: I have so much anecdotal evidence from those inside the industry that they have heard conversations, they have been a part of conversations. It is the dirty, not so secret that it's pay to play, and it's whoever spends the most money will be able to, crack in that top 25 list. And the problem that I have with that, and really the problem that I have with top 25 lists overall, is because this is so subjective, and the flavors that I pick up may not be the flavors that you pick up, and everybody likes a little bit different. It's all based on your experience, and your brain kind of matrixes all of the flavors that you're tasting. Is this? It's just all shit. They're influencers. They're influencing sales. And if you're paying to play, you're paying to have your sales influenced.
100%. And I was actually just going to say that before you did, is like the CA, they put out, Cigar Aficionado, they put out their top 25 list. And then it's like a mad dash for many cigar smokers out there to find the cigars that are in the top 5 to buy it, to try it, and to experience it. So yeah, they're very influential in what they put on their list. And why wouldn't you, as a publisher, say, hey, by me putting you as number 1, you're going to probably make X number of dollars in sales. Where's my chunk?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and it also helps out B&Ms. Because every time the top 25 list comes out, there's, like you said, there's a mad rush by those who are influenced by that list to go, oh my God, I got to try the number 1. I've got to try the number 1. And to me, that's an issue. It inflates. It's a false inflation sort of thing, right? Like it's false demand. For example, like I'm not taking anything away from EP Carrillo, but 2 out of the last 3 years, they've had the top cigar in the country, according to Cigar Aficionado.
Right.
I smoked both. The Majestic The Encore Majestic was the number one in 2019. No, 2018. And then in 2020, it was the prequel. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
the Majestic.
We walked into it was the prequel. When we walked into the B&M, like the first 3 sentences out of their mouth was like, "Oh, we got the number one.
We're the only shop in Iowa that has it."
Yeah, and then we continued to smoke it and talk shit about it.
Right. So you guys might remember that because we did talk shit about it. And it's not that it was a shit cigar. They were solid cigars.
Pepper bomb.
Yeah, but they were solid cigars, right?
Sure.
Solid. But I could literally name off the top of my head for both years 5 cigars that are immensely better. And I guarantee you that out of those 5, 3 of them are boutique.
Mm-hmm.
So a cigar aficionado leaves out.
Yeah. I think at about the same time we put out a staff. Each staff member got to pick like their top 3, or we did some sort of list at that time, and it was a pain in the ass.
It is a pain in the ass, and I think what I might do at the beginning of January is put out a like, here are 5 cigars you should smoke from 2021. Not a top 5 list. These are just 5 cigars that I really like that I think you should smoke. And the staff can do that as well, with the caveat that they're released from 2021.
Right. I totally like that idea of, the top 3 cigars that or the top 5 or whatever the number is that I personally enjoyed that was released in 2021. I like that idea because we're not all going to have the same cigar. Obviously, we hopefully don't.
Right.
And everybody's taste and experience is subjective.
Like, for example, if I was going to give a top spot to a cigar, the Castagli Enigma would be my number 1. Hands down, without a doubt, my favorite cigar from 2021. Number 2 would be the Castagli Origins. Hands down, my second favorite cigar. Number 3 would be the Undercrown 10 from Drew Estate. I really, really like that cigar. Number 5 would be the Avo Synchro Caribe. Really fucking good cigar. And then number 5 was probably a toss-up, but honestly, probably the La Pâtissier from Crown Heads that just came out a couple weeks ago. So Fiat Lux should be in there as well. I think that's a top 5 cigar. I mean, like, there are just, like, that's probably tied with La Pâtissier.
Right. I was going to say, and I really haven't put any thought into it. And I know that there was a cigar that I smoked recently that I was completely blown away by, but right off the top of my head, I can't think of it. But yeah, I was going to say the Fiat Lux, definitely. The Crown Head Series E for sure.
That's a top 10 cigar for sure.
Protocol came out with the Elliot Ness. Holy crap, that was good. I really liked that one. And then I would agree with the La Pâtissier. Another amazing cigar that came out in 2021.
Yeah, no, so there's a lot of cigars out there that are going to get passed over. So we say all this to say this, like, don't expect a top 25 list from us, and also just try new shit.
Did the J London
that's a top 10 for me.
Yeah, that came out this year, right? Yeah,
that's a top 10. The Lamper Azul 1675 is a fucking top 10 for me all day long. I'll smoke that cigar.
I just had one the other day, and it's been a while since I had one. I was like, holy crap, I forgot how good these
Same here. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I've got these. I should probably, I'll take another one out of the box. I was like, holy fuck, like, this is so good. How did I forget how good this was? But we get so caught up in the things that we're doing. And we're like, I'm always doing a review, which, by the way, simplystogies.com, and you can see my review on this fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
7.8.
The punch brace. How do you say it? The flame.
Yeah, white guy. That's exactly how you say it, you fucking American.
I can't wait to punch my first Potomac with it. My post.
Yeah. I'm going to use the Les Finlames to fucking punch my Potomac.
Potomac.
Les Finlames.
Yeah.
Les Finlames. It's French. They surrender a lot. As Lucas, speaking of, Lucas is calling me right now. So yeah, look for this. I like it. I think it's stylish. I really do. I do dig it. But every time I take it off, I think it's going to break. The first one that came in the mail broke in the mail. It arrived broken. I expect more from a company like Les Finlames.
I did notice that in your review of that bracelet, you did put one of my concerns in the actual review of, if you're wearing that and you go out on the town and that thing breaks, that's like embarrassing, because now you're like, oh, hey man, this thing is so beautiful. Look at me, I'm a high baller, and then all of a sudden.
Well, high baller. These things are literally, I think, $65 retail, and you can get like the regular one that doesn't have the punch, so you can like stack them up and look like some kind of whatever. Like, I'm not typically a jewelry guy. Like, I don't even wear my wedding ring, right? Like, I'm not a jewelry guy. Yeah, but this I wear. My wife's like, so you'll wear that and you won't wear your wedding ring? Yeah. Like, look, when I wear the wedding ring, like that attracts women. If I don't wear my wedding ring, they're just like, oh, you're single.
Yeah.
You must have a tiny penis. Well, yeah, but that's not why I'm single. I'm single because I'm an asshole.
My wife is like, oh, you're not going to wear your wedding ring? And I'm like, I'm wearing it, but I'm wearing it on my pecker. And she didn't believe me. She wanted me to show, and that was embarrassing because the lights were on. I wasn't going to do that. No, the reason why I don't wear it is because I'm actually on my second wedding ring, because my fingers swell so much in the different seasons that I've actually, like, it's fallen off. My first one fell off. I was in the field on a cot, and 2 days later is when I realized it was no longer there, and I never found it again. And I've seen people actually get finger ripped off.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've seen that too. But that's when you tell your wife, I must have left it on the nightstand.
But it's on a nightstand. No, I'm just kidding. I love my wife. I would never.
Yeah, no, for sure. 100%. Yeah. If she ever sees this.
Watch this, but
yes, she won't watch this. My wife doesn't watch any of the shit I do. She did watch some of the Instagram lives. Let's talk about that real quick. Yeah. She did watch some of that. Which those were a lot of fun. I mean, they really were. There were some nights where it was just one or two people would jump in, but then we had nights where there were 12, 30, up to 30 people who would jump in and jump out and talk. And we had a good time. We had Damon on. Yeah, no, it was oddly enough. No, it was never when you were on. It was when Damon was on, when Lucas was on. We had some of the folks from Creative Brain Candy on, and they got to talk about their shows a little bit. So, if you're into podcasts, go check it out. Go check out some of those guys. But yeah, so those were a lot of fun. I don't know, Tim, you got anything else you want to talk about?
Oh man. Yeah, I do have some things to talk about, but I don't think there are things to talk about here on this platform. So I don't know I know you talked about hanging around a little bit and talking some behind the scenes stuff, hopefully stuff that our listeners or our followers, our LE Club members would enjoy. So
maybe they'll enjoy it, and maybe they just be like, fuck you guys, I don't like your shit.
Well, I mean, it is for the most part, I feel it's true that the majority of our supporters, they just support us because of the podcast, really, and they like what's going on there. I don't really see a whole lot of traction as far as supporters from all the additional stuff we do.
No, I not yet. And eventually I hope that changes. It's all about, for me as a content creator, it's about creating content and consistently creating content, right?
Yeah.
And always changing and always trying to do better. And look, I get it, guys. Like, this is not the best setup right now, right? Like, I had every intention of going to Des Moines yesterday.
Yep.
And I woke up. I was like, my kid was sick. My wife is still my wife is still having the effects of COVID. Like, she went back to the doctor for the third time, and he was like, fuck this. We're just going to give you prednisone and some more antibiotics, and let's just knock this the fuck out.
Right.
So, she's still dealing with that. So it was just like one of these things where I woke up and I'm like, no, not today. Plus, my car's in the shop. I was supposed to have it back yesterday, and then they called and said I'm not going to have it until Monday or Tuesday because they're dumb. So it's just a lot of things. It's Christmas. My wife's birthday is later this week. So just
birthday for me.
No, I will. And so there's just a lot of stuff. There's just a lot of stuff going on that I was just like, you know what? Let's just do it over Zoom. Let's get this out to these guys because it is important. Like it really is. And I don't want to put too fine of a point on this, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. But guys, right before PCA, I mean, I looked at Tim and I'm like, I think I'm done. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know that I want to do this anymore. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of effort for very little return. And I don't even mean like money in return. Like that's part of it for sure. But it's a lot of effort for very little recognition from anyone outside the industry. The people inside the industry, they seem to love what I'm doing. They seem to love what we're doing. They love the website. They love the reviews. Like I'll share with you guys this. We had someone email me a couple months ago, and it was from an email address that I wasn't familiar with. And I opened it up, and it was one of the reviewers from Cigar Coop, like his right-hand guy. And he was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I really enjoy your content. Like, your reviews are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, and that meant a lot. So inside the industry, we get a lot of credit for what we do. And we do things differently than everybody else. I think we are different, and that's good and bad, right? Because we get a lot of kudos from around the industry, but from those who watch, from those who listen, from those who really matter, we don't really get a lot of. And so it might be one of these things where we have to do this for 10 years before something hits and we're around. But it's still hard. It's still hard to do, and it's just you feel beaten down by the end of it, and you're just like, fuck. And so that was the thing. I looked at Tim before the PCA trade show. I'm like, I just don't know if I want to do this anymore. Like, I feel pretty beat down. And Tim's like, well, let's just get through the PCA and see what happens. And so got through the PCA, and I got recharged, and he got recharged. And now here we are 6 months later, and I'm just like, fuck. I kind of feel beaten down again. There's so many external factors that are pushing us in certain directions in the way we're trying to do things. And it's just becoming a lot. So I don't know, take that for what it's worth, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I completely understand. I mean, I think when we went to the PCA trade show and you said, hey, I don't know. I mean, I'm beat. I don't know if I can do this anymore. It kind of scared me because I'm like, hey guy, we're at the PCA trade show. Not the time to be thinking this.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. Let's get through the PCA trade show. And it was frustrating because it was much larger than just us, as far as what we could even possibly try to handle. And so I think we learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Next year's PCA trade show. I'm hoping that we're able to accomplish all the things that we want to accomplish. It is very overwhelming, but it also re-energizes us because we get to see and deliver to you what's coming down the pipeline. And I get it. There are other platforms out there that do that, but we want to do it differently than them. And I think a lot of the big, I'll call them big shots. None of them will say they're big shots, but a lot of the people that we talked to, we went up and we said, hey, here's the mic. Tell our people about your product. Nobody else did that.
No.
And I think we got a lot of appreciation for that from inside the industry.
Yeah, they like that because then they're the star. Like, I don't want to be the star. Nobody wants to look at me as it is. So I want to highlight them. I want to highlight their journey. I want to highlight their product, and not me, and not Tim, and not anybody else that comes on board. So we're always refining. We're always trying to get better. And guys, if you guys have a suggestion, like, you guys are the ones who support us, like, monetarily, you go above and beyond what most anybody else does. So if you have a suggestion, if you have something you want to say, you have an idea, like, bring it, let us know, bring it forward. info@simplystogies.com. And I think that's it. Like, I'll rate this for you at a 7.1. I do not like the overly aromatic, overly pipey, overly potpourri. It is complex, it is nuanced, but it's just basically flowers and fruit.
Right. I'm really honestly surprised that you would smoke that. You won't touch a Gurkha, but you'll touch a freaking candle.
Well, so here's the thing. I looked at Lacey, who's one of our new reviewers, one of our new staff writers. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. She's awesome. She works at David's Fine Tobaccos in Des Moines. She was working, and I was like, "Did you guys have any, just by chance, do you guys have any Stillwell?" And she's like, "Yeah, we do." So I went back there, and I'm like, she's like, "Yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying this." I'm like, "Yeah, I just want to try it to know that I hate it," and I was right. It's just not. Look, if you like pipe tobacco, if you like fruity bullshit, if you like the smell of taste of potpourri, you too will like the Stillwell. And there's a market for it. I'm just not that market. What do you think of that Aladino?
Yeah, I dig it. It's been very consistent. I have not had, I think I touched it up once, but it was just to touch up. I don't know. I think you were just rambling on, and I was like, I need to do something with my hands. I didn't know what to do.
Randy,
but
what did I do with my hands?
But yeah, it was very consistent, very good. I almost smoked this for the cigars and coffee that I recorded prior to this, but I changed my mind. I didn't. I would say this is a solid 89. I would not have a problem smoking this again and again and again.
Yeah, that's a very solid cigar. I would agree. I like that cigar a lot. Guys, again, simplystogies.com. Go to log in, change your password if you haven't logged in already. And then make sure you're signing up again. If your year's not up, you're good until your year's up. And when you first signed up with Buy Me a Coffee, if you're doing month to month, you've got to go in and choose your plan and do that. And you can do in the $10 a month, $20 a month, $30 a month, or the $100 a year, $200 a year, $300 a year, whatever you can afford. We would greatly appreciate. And I think that's it. I'm not going to shill anymore. I'm going to get out of here and talk to Tim for a little bit. Guys, gals, non-binaries, theys, theirs, whatever your pronoun is. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, whatever. Have a great new year. Hopefully 2022 will be better than 2021, but I think Omicron is going to make sure that it's fucking not.
Every day you wake up, which variant is it going to be today?
Right now it's Omicron. Omicron Persei 8, which if you are a Futurama fan, you know that reference and you are my friend. That's going to do it for me. That's Tim. He's waving. I don't know if you can see him wave because I don't know how this is going to work. Who knows?
Freaking technical difficulty.
That's right. It's Zoom. I'm James. Guys, Happy New Year. Stay smoky.
We hope you've enjoyed this Patreon exclusive episode of Simply Stogies Tales from the Lounge. Follow Simply Stogies Podcast on Instagram at Simply Stogies Podcast, on Twitter at Simply Stogies, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Simply Stogies. As always, thanks for listening, thanks for your support, and stay smoky.